Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. Welcome to the midweek edition of The Conversation here on Lagos Television. I am Abimbola Bello.
Good morning and welcome to the show. I am Ajibola Ojeshola.
And I am Joyolu. Welcome to The Conversation.
Right, welcome to The Conversation. Before we delve into our news points for today, I want us to quickly talk about something. Have you been to a store recently? In the last 1 week? Not market. Okay. Have you gone to buy, yes, the supermarket, have you gone to buy bread? Have you gone to buy anything? And were you asked to pay for a shopping bag?
Not yet.
Joy,
no.
It hasn't happened to you in Lagos. Okay, let me give you the good news, or whatever news you'd like to call it. So for those of us who buy bread on a daily basis or on a 2 daily basis, and major outlets, where it's happening, without mentioning names, it's happening around. Okay, Joy doesn't stay in Lagos, so.
Thank you.
Okay, you remember that the Minister of Environment, of course, is enforcing that law on styrofoams.
Yeah.
So we all had this idea that it was just styrofoams that fell into the category of single-use plastics. But voila,
Nylons.
Shopping bags, they fall into that category. So if you're going to buy bread, or if you're going to the supermarket, 2 things: go with your shopping bag, or be ready to buy a shopping bag in the supermarket. So if you haven't experienced it, heads up, I'm just telling you. Yeah, I've bought shopping bag twice now. And I said I will not buy shopping bag again. So the one that I bought this morning, I have put everything away. I have put it in my car and it's there. So if you go to those, even the one around us here, they now have a bigger bag, and written on it is, this bag is recyclable. So it is not a single-use bag.
Not a single-use bag.
Yes. So now the awareness is there that you know what, we will set states by force.
But why should we be the one to pay for the bag?
Oh yes, because it's expensive.
So.
So if I'm going to buy bread now, you just give me the bread.
Or would you?
You will carry your bread, though.
You carry your bread.
Okay.
Or they add the cost of the of the shopping bag.
We pay. Sorry, what did you say?
Or they add the cost of the shopping bag to the bread.
You will complain.
Okay.
You will complain, and just like what my producer said, when you go abroad, because oftentimes we like to always say that, but when you go abroad, you buy your shopping bag.
Yeah, sure.
You buy your shopping bag, or you take your shopping bag.
So this is time all the carrier bags they give as souvenirs at parties.
Souvenir bag, you know, because all the nylon bags that we used to do dustbin bag. Now everybody will set.
Then, Abimbola, did you experience any kind of traffic when going home yesterday? I was told traffic was horrible.
Even this morning. So
especially on your side, Joy.
In the last 2 days, I don't know what's going on. I've had to make a detour in the last 2 days. Yesterday morning, I had to go through Adekunle, come through Yanoworo. Domalon Bridge was a no-go area yesterday. This morning, Ojota, for some reason, was blocked. I had to go in through Ojota Ogudu to the office. I really don't know what's going on. But as yesterday I left here 6:30, and going there was no traffic. But coming, it was a no-no. So I really don't know what's going on. And perhaps if we have an idea of why there is sudden traffic, then we might be able to also tell our viewers. But really, I don't know what's going on. I can't say. That particular one. So I just wanted us to talk about the bag issue so that, we fight about things a lot.
So now you know.
So now you know. So
don't be surprised.
So when you go into those shops and they ask you, do you have your bag or... No, but here is one thing I'm going to say, though. This is also not a way for the supermarkets to extort customers. Now, if you're selling your shopping bags, it varies. The one that I bought this morning, it pains me because it was too expensive.
Is that because of the size?
When I looked at the quality of the bag, it looked nice. But I paid $7.50 for the bag.
Yeah.
That's much.
So I said, okay. This one, I must keep in the car.
I hope it's durable. It's not something that would
Yes, that's why I said when I looked at the quality of the bag. So in other places that will sell you the normal carrier bags, but that are nylon-based, but that are recyclable, they're about 150 or 200.
Okay,
So there is no bag that is cheaper than
150.
150. So
It's what the 750.
no, it's worth it, but it's also set my brain straight. I will not forget my bag again. All right, let's start the show for today. Let's quickly go into what our discussion, well, our news point for today. Ajibola's state is still trending.
It is.
Yes. Okay, before we also go, I think also did you hear that our inflation rate dropped massively yesterday?
Yes, I did.
It's now about less than 25% from 34%.
24
So that's almost 10%.
Yeah.
So I think something good is really happening at the moment. Okay.
And I hope those who are already beating the drums of war ahead of 2027 will start being realistic and at least commend this administration for some of these things that we are beginning to see and feel.
Right, but then of course we'll continue to sue that as much as we are seeing this, success rate on the economy, it must also impact
The people.
on the lives of the people. Okay, let's start the show. Ajibola, let's take it from your state.
Okay, from Lagos, we are moving to Osun State. Osun crisis. Police go after killers. LG polls to hold on Saturday. The Osun State Police Command on Tuesday began a manhunt for those responsible for the violence that erupted across the state, resulting in multiple deaths. This came as the Osun State Independent Electoral Commission dismissed report that its office had been sealed by military personnel, insisting that a local government election scheduled for Saturday will proceed as planned. There was chaos in Osun State on Monday following the insistence of the sacked local government chairman and councillors to return to council offices, a move resisted by PDP supporters. The APC members on Monday moved to enforce the judgment of the Court of Appeal, Akure Division, which overturned their sack by the verdict of the Osogbo Federal High Court on November 25, 2022. Members of the PDP, on the other hand, also mobilized to the council secretariat in large numbers and clashed with the APC members, a development that led to the loss of lives of 6 people and destruction of properties in many local government areas of the state. A chieftain of the All Progressive Congress in the state, Remi Abbas, who was allegedly killed at the entrance to the Irewole local government area secretariat in Ikire on Monday, was buried according to Islamic rite on Tuesday. Abbas was among the 6 casualties recorded by the police following the political unrest that engulfed the state. In a statement on Tuesday, the command spokesperson, Yemisi Okpalola, expressed sympathy with those who lost their loved ones and property. Okpalola said the Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Abba, promised a thorough investigation will be conducted to arrest the perpetrators and make them face the full wrath of the law. The event left 6 people dead and many people hospitalized. So, OSEC, according to what we have in this report, is not going to postpone that election. It's still going to hold on Saturday, not minding the number of people that have lost their lives and, of course, the number of properties that were destroyed. I just hope that the security agent will try as much as possible to be neutral.
Yeah, as much as we're pushing for neutrality here, maybe also it would be nice if the federal government or the IGP can, before the election, maybe change the CP, because there have been so many allegations against him. So if, of course, the police is to hold a neutral point here, perhaps it would just be nice to, take the man away from there to also forestall and maybe do it very close to the election day so that nobody has access to the new person.
Yeah.
And this new person is coming to ensure that there is peace and order during this election and nobody has access to who he is before the election. So, but it would be nice to also ensure that the people are ready for that election, because at the end of the day, if the election holds, and the people do not come out to vote, what will you be reporting? You will say that you had overwhelming support for the election. And it's a dicey one, especially for Governor Adeleke, because he's in the PDP. And of course, all of the other allegations are pointing to the APC. And so right now, it's more or less like who has who is the most powerful in the state. But whether or not you belong to different political parties, the peace and tranquility of your state matters a lot.
It does.
Because
and I love the angle that you took, Abimbola. talking about the need for the people to show interest in this particular election. It is the local government election.
Yes, they are
that's the closest
closest.
government to the people. So I will appeal to them to show interest so that they can indeed feel the impact of good governance at the grassroots, especially now that we have local government receiving their funds directly. And I feel that maybe a word or two from Mr. President would actually douse the tension, because the governor did accuse the Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy of being the one behind all these crises being faced in Osun State.
Well, we do hope that, the needful will be done here and peace returns to Osun in the midst of the election. Let's take the second story this morning. Of course, this one is another allegation. Boko Haram, U.S. probes aid to Nigeria. The United States government is set to investigate how past aid allocated to Nigeria and other countries has been utilized. This follows U.S. President Donald Trump's January 2025 decision to suspend all foreign aid for 90 days, citing concerns about global destabilization and misalignment with American interests. The move responds to growing calls for a comprehensive review of U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID health funds. It will be recalled that last Thursday, a United States Congressman, Scott Perry, had claimed that USAID funded terrorist organizations, including Boko Haram. Perry, a Republican representing Pennsylvania, made the claim during the inaugural hearing of the Subcommittee on Delivering on Government Efficiency last Thursday. Boko Haram, officially known as Jamaatul al-Sunnah Lidawa wa Jihad, is a terrorist organization based in the northeast region and also active in Chad, Niger, northern Cameroon, and Mali. The group has been causing havoc in the region for over 15 years, killing tens of thousands of people in frequent attacks against the police, armed forces, and civilians. In a post on Tuesday via X, U.S. mission to Nigeria confirms that monitoring systems are in place to track past assistance provided by the U.S. government. The U.S. mission also strongly condemned the ongoing violence and loss of lives caused by Boko Haram in Nigeria. I will leave it at that. Again, like I said, this calls for concern, because if I don't know if you've also come across a few videos that have been running around since this USAID thing came up, and some things have been thrown there, and the question I've been asking is, could they be true? Could the U.S. have actually been funding Boko Haram? I also saw a video. It was a BBC interview of General Musa, the Chief of Defense Staff, where during an interview, he did say that there were theories that Boko Haram would be funded by international organizations. And when the the guy who was interviewing him said, "But can you trace the funding? Do you know where those funds are coming from?" What he said was, well, the UN would need to trace those funds. And that got me thinking that if if you knew, and this will not be the first time that we will hear such that indeed these guys were being funded. I remember, I think it was during the administration of Muhammadu Buhari, that they were meant to name financiers of terrorists. That thing kept going back and forth. They named some, and then afterwards, we didn't hear anything again. So again, it looks like there are certain things that are going on that we do not have a proper grasp of. And now we're going to have the U.S. carry out this investigation and maybe indict Nigeria at the end of the day, because the U.S. that I know, they will wash their hands
completely
of this case. And
then
say, well,
how difficult it is for us to actually track those funds that came into the country.
It is not difficult.
Then we are playing some kind of politics then.
It is not difficult.
Or we are not sincere with ourselves.
That's it.
Then what is the interest of the United States of America in funding Boko Haram, in
that's
ensuring that we do not have
ask.
peace and security in Nigeria?
That's the question.
Causing war or sponsoring war is a tool.
It's a tool for getting more money to go into those countries, those 8 countries, those countries that can never find peace if there was no war.
It's a tool again to stop you from developing.
From developing.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's sad. Joy, let's take your story.
All right, for us here in Lagos, Sanwo-Olu slashes red line fare to 1,000 naira. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on Tuesday said Lagosians would now enjoy 1,000 naira. That is a 30% reduction on the red line transportation fare. He made this known at the unveiling of the Abule Egba bus terminal. He said the fare was reduced because the state government wanted the red line transportation system to be accessible and affordable. In his address, he said the Abule Egba bus terminal At the Abule Egba bus terminal inauguration, Sanwo-Olu said about 6 years ago, this is quoting him now, "We pledged to the people of Lagos State to upgrade our public transportation system with modern, sustainable infrastructure to enable them to meet their daily aspirations. But today we are here in Agege to hand over to the people another public infrastructure that will aid their seamless commuting from here to other parts of Lagos and perhaps to other parts of the country." In addition to the blue and red lines in operation, we have initiated moves to kickstart the 68-kilometer green line from Marina to Lekki Free Zone and the 60-kilometer purple line from the Redemption Cap in Ogun State to Volkswagen area on the Lagos-Badagry Expressway to connect with the blue line. Okay, it's a long read, but that's just the thrust of the story. The fare has been reduced to 1,000 naira.
Yeah.
From 1,500.
I mean, if we all remember, I think it was just less than 2 weeks ago that Lamata said they were reverting. Yes, and then they will be, increasing. So if the governor is magnanimous enough to decrease, this particular, I think it's just to lure more people to come onto the red line. And because again, if you look at the stretch, and what a better way to ask people to come on board than to slash the fares. So
there's no traffic, reduces travel
and then
time.
you're coming all the way from Agbado and there. So I think it's just a way to get more people on board. And, again, just to promise them that, we need you. Because if the coaches are there and there are no passengers, go what?
Oh, it's not what you said. the investment of the Lagos State government would have been in vain. And then the investment of this government on transportation, road is quite huge. And we all know the role that transportation play in the economy of any society. So we must give kudos to the governor of Lagos State for at least making good use of the taxpayers' money compared to some other states where some governors are in their second term and they barely do nothing.
Well, we'll continue to, of course, congratulate and celebrate our governor for doing all he can.
And people of Abule Egba, the likes of Adetola Anko, maybe she'll be driving less.
Adetola. Okay. Let's see how this one will go. All right, let's quickly head to the X platform this morning and take a look at one of the many trending stories on that platform. Of course, a lot of Nigerians are commiserating with the family of Pa Edwin Clark. Remember, we talked about that yesterday before we rounded off the show yesterday. Talked about his demise. And, of course, a lot of Nigerians are, commiserating with the family and saying, gradually, step by step, all the icons of, of good governance and democracy are bowing out. Of course, Pa Adebanjo, it was days ago. Pa Edwin Clark, it was on Tuesday night. Who is next? We do not know.
Who is next? That's a big question.
We do not know, but would always say what would be said about you when you're gone, when you're no longer here. But if give it to Pa Adebanjo and Pa Clark, they were vocal. Even till their end, they saw and they spoke about, and I think these are the things that will be missed about this man. They didn't care whose ox was God. They were not perfect. But they didn't
stood
shy
by the
away
truth.
from saying the truth, even though, you know, the truth was going to make them fall out from many people, but they stuck their gun, and people knew them for what they believed in.
Yeah. You know, those were leaders, those were men who had conscience compared to the crop of people that we have now who are playing butter and bread kind of politics. And when you are gone, like Abimbola rightly said, what would people say about you? Is it all about what you are going to gain for you and your family or your generation? Or sometimes you look at people in power and you speak truth to them. What will people say about you when you are gone? That's a very big question this morning.
The life of Pa Edwin Clark, you know, has a lot of lessons to be learned, and I just hope that our leaders of today can take a cue from his life and times and learn something and transform the lives of Nigerians.
Okay, that's it on our news points as well as our hashtag for today. We'll take a break. When we return, our conversation will be on the side of the table first, and we're taking a look at mass defection from other political parties to the APC, which is now referred to. Oh, I'm so sorry. We need to take the news column for today. Let's take a quick break. When we return, we'll take the column for today.